Hey there, movie lovers. Welcome back to Rocky Watches Movies. Today we're travelling back in time to explore the prehistoric adventure of 1 million years BC. This 1966 classic is famous for its stunning stop-motion creatures, dramatic landscapes and, of course, Raquel Welch's iconic fur bikini. But beyond the dazzling visuals, there's a wealth of fascinating behind-the-scenes stories that bring this cinematic time capsule to life. We're unearthing the hidden history of this Stone Age spectacle. So grab your spears and get ready to discover 20 things you never knew about 1 million years BC. Kenneth Hyman, the Vice President of European Production at Seven Arts, initially approached production company Hammer with the idea of reuniting She star Ursula Andress with her co-star John Richardson for a remake of Hal Roach's 1940 film 1 Million BC. Produced by United Artists, 1 Million BC was a fantasy adventure starring Victor Mature as Tumac, a caveman striving to unite the peaceful Shell tribe with the savage Rock tribe. Although Hyman was eager to bring Andress and Richardson back together, Hammer was unable to secure Andress for the project due to schedule conflicts and her salary demands. Also, her experience making She had not been entirely positive. Joining Richardson, who had agreed to play Tumac, was Fox contract player Raquel Welch. She had just finished working on Richard Fleischer's Fantastic Voyage from '66 and was loaned to Hammer's production by Fox Vice President Richard Zanuck. Initially hesitant to take on the role, Welch feared she would be ridiculed for starring in such low-budget fantasy fare. In the end, convinced that nobody would remember this thing and she could shove it under the carpet, she agreed to join the cast. One attraction for her was the opportunity to spend 6 to 8 weeks filming interiors in London, right at the height of its swinging era. Martine Beswick revealed that she didn't even have to audition for the film. Her appearance in James Bond's Thunderball had opened doors for her, and Hammer Films was keen to bring her into the fold, offering her the role of the cave girl Napondi. Hammer's producer Michael Carreras wrote the screenplay and based it very closely on Roach's original, but was determined the realization of the dinosaur effects would be the best that Hammer could offer. Enter visual effects legend Ray Harryhausen, who just completed The First Men in the Moon from 1964 for Columbia, and with no further projects in the pipeline, accepted Hammer's offer to work on the film. He said that he hated remakes, but felt he could do better than the original 1940 version. Directing the live-action sequences and coordinating with Harryhausen on the visual effects was Don Chaffee. Hammer made a wise choice in hiring him, as he had previously worked with Harryhausen on Jason and the Argonauts from 1963 and understood the complexities of shooting effects-heavy scenes. Joining Chaffee was cinematographer Wilkie Cooper, another dependable choice. Having worked on several of Harryhausen's films, including The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, Jason and the Argonauts, and The First Men in the Moon, Cooper was highly regarded by the visual effects legend, who described him as one of the finest photographers in Great Britain, I think. 9 minutes of footage was removed from the original 100-minute cut for US distribution. These included trims to the brief suggestion of cannibalism in Tumac's encounter with the sinister cave-dwelling ape creatures, shots of a severed head they mount on a stake, Napondi's erotic dance, the tribal battle at the end of the film, and bizarrely, slight cuts made to all of the Harryhausen stop-motion sequences, except the fight between the Triceratops and the Ceratosaurus. Regarding criticism of the film's historical inaccuracies, such as the depiction of dinosaurs which disappeared around 66 million years ago, coexisting with early humans, who emerged roughly 300,000 years ago, Ray Harryhausen dismissed the concerns. He stated that he didn't create the film for professors who wouldn't go to see such films anyway. The film features 6 live creatures: a vulture, a python, an iguana, a warthog, a lockton, and a tarantula. The iguanas tended to fall asleep under the studio lights and had to be coaxed into action by their trainers, while the tarantula was encouraged with occasional snacks, one of which, a grasshopper, makes a brief appearance in the final footage. Ray Harryhausen was frequently asked about these unanimated creatures and admitted they were his idea. At the time, he believed that incorporating real animals would help convince audiences that everything they were about to see was real. If you're enjoying the video, a subscribe to the channel would be more valuable than fire to a caveman. When the shellfish tribe is attacked by a giant sea turtle, Loanna names it Archelon. This is the actual scientific name of the creature, derived from Greek, meaning royal turtle. The exterior scenes were filmed on Lanzarote and Tenerife in the Canary Islands in late 1965. Principal photography wrapped in January 1966, and by spring, Ray Harryhausen had completed the special effects work. As there were no active volcanoes in the Canary Islands, the studio had to construct a 2-metre-high volcano on the Associated British Picture Corporation studio backlot. Martine and Raquel were both involved in a fight sequence, although both actresses were offered stand-ins to film the battle between Loanna and Napondi. They insisted on performing the scenes themselves. Welch's grunting was actually voice-dubbed by the talented Nikki van der Zyl, a renowned voice actress who gained fame for her work in the James Bond franchise. Van der Zyl lent her voice to several key characters in the Bond films, most notably providing the seductive vocal tones of Ursula Andress's character Honey Rider in Dr. No. The fur bikinis worn by the actresses were notoriously uncomfortable to wear. Designed to evoke the primitive look of prehistoric times, the bikinis were far from practical. The actresses often found themselves wading in water, which caused the fur to become waterlogged, making the garments heavy and difficult to move in. On top of that, the wet fur would cling to their bodies uncomfortably, creating additional discomfort during the shoot. Hammer's visual effects maestro Les Bowie was tasked with creating the film's prologue and confidently assured the studio that his team could produce 4 minutes of the Earth's creation. He proudly claimed with a touch of irony that he achieved this in just 6 days on an allocated budget of £1,100, with only a £100 overspend. However, his efforts in crafting cosmic dust, nebula, and the molten surface of the Earth, such as boiling porridge in a frying pan, were ultimately deemed unsatisfactory. Most of his work was replaced with stock footage of erupting volcanoes, leaving only a few shots of his original creations in the final prologue. Complementing Welch's glamour, the exotic locations, and Harryhausen's superb animation was a score by Mario Nascimbene. The music was recorded in his Rome studio, where he creatively used rocks, shells, and jawbones blended with an electronically manipulated orchestra and choir to produce a unique and atmospheric sound. A scene that didn't make it into the final cut featured several bird handlers attempting to coax trained vultures to swoop down on the cast. The scene, which was intended to add a thrilling, predatory element to the film, proved very challenging to execute. Martine Beswick revealed that she and co-star John Richardson experienced a whirlwind romance, falling madly in love while on set. After filming Wrapped, they married and spent 7 years together. When the cast and crew returned to the studios in Elstree to complete the film, they worked on the magnificent sets designed and dressed by Robert Jones and Kenneth Tate. By then, Welch's portrayal of Loanna had already caused a stir in the press. The unit photographer Pierre Luigi's iconic image of her, windswept and glamorous on the plains of Lanzarote, had already cemented her status as a pop icon. Robert Brown, who portrayed a cobra, wore makeup that was strikingly similar to that worn by Lon Chaney Jr. in the same role in the 1940 version of 1 Million BC. This deliberate choice to mirror Chaney's look was a nod to the earlier film. With a budget that eventually exceeded $500,000, Hammer was rewarded with substantial box office takings when 1 Million Years BC opened in December 1966. It became their most successful film, grossing around $8 million globally. And there you have it, folks. You now know a little bit more about 1 Million Years BC. If you enjoyed the video, which I presume you did as you've got this far, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos coming to Rocky Watches Movies. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.